Found proof that my 24F boyfriend, 27 meters, of 4 years cheated with a coworker, but I don't think he did. Throw away because, you know how this goes. A quick backstory: I grew up in an emotionally, and occasionally physically, harmful household. When I was 13, I was discovered and started modeling. My parents saw me as their meal ticket, and my dad started managing my then promising career. He turned from an aloof parent to an overbearing, harmful and sometimes creepy constant companion overnight. I won't go into details, but I made a decent amount of money, was able to declare myself independent of my parents at 16, and haven't spoken to them since. Enter my partner of 4 years. I was 20 when I met him, and was in the middle of both starting a business and getting my MBA. We both attended one of the best business schools in the country, and we bonded over being red water leaking heart lefties in a sea of conservatives. We had issues in the beginning because of some insecurities on his side. Our program was filled with tons of vain, conventionally attractive guys that showed me a lot of attention, especially since the male/female ratio was so skewed. But because of my experiences, I had to grow up very fast, and I tend to put very little value in superficial things. Yes, I have a physical type of person I am drawn to, but I find that my actual attraction, even romantically, follows the personality of someone. And even if he wasn't the hottest guy in the room, BF is my type physically. He eventually got over it, and to say I fell head over heels, punch silly, over the moon in love with him would be a terrible understatement. He's everything I've ever wanted in someone and more. If God himself asked me to list the traits of my perfect guy, I wouldn't even have written all of his down for fear of sounding greedy. And he tells me constantly that he feels similarly, even after 4 years together. So this is the story. A few days ago, I was looking through his email to find details of a trip we're taking soon, when I stumble across a chat he had with a newish friend. It goes into explicit details about him ducking a coworker of his 3 times, including dates and the hotel they stay at. The thing is, he didn't sleep with anyone but me those nights. All of the dates were times when we were either out or having a cuddly night at home, watching Toy Story, for God's sake. I would say that maybe he got the dates wrong, but I just think it didn't happen at all. He treats me like I am the best thing that has ever happened to him, and cheating doesn't seem like anything he would ever do. So I'm left thinking that there are 2 options. Maybe this is just his way of showing off to his new mega douchey friend. I could see his past insecurities playing into this scenario. I hate this guy. He's a typical bro, and definitely not someone that my BF and I would usually hang out with. Or, this could be his way of living out his fantasy of cheating on me, and maybe I am in danger of being cheated on. I don't know how to handle this. I am usually confident, and some would say almost arrogant about my successes and looks. I'm not, I'm just realistic, and I actually resent what being attractive did to me and my childhood, but this has thrown me for a loop. I've changed from confident and trusting to an insecure, jealous, angry person in the blink of an eye. Usually I would just talk to him about it. We talk about everything. It's just that the more time that goes on, I think both options of why he would say this are equally bad. They both show a side of him that is dishonest, unkind and just creepy. I don't know what I would do with any explanation he could give me. What do I do? How do I broach this? How do I get to the bottom of the truth? And how do I get back that crazy love that I feel slipping away by the hour? Too long didn't read. My BF told his friend that he cheated on me 3 times, but the dates make this impossible. Why would he do this, and how do I approach him? Sorry for the long post. Edit, he's on his way now, and we're going to talk tonight. I have to leave town early tomorrow, so while I wish I had more time to figure this out, I know I have to settle it before I go. Also, a couple of people mentioned email or the possibility that the conversation could have been planted. It was actually part of a chat, so it was definitely him saying that stuff.
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
Maybe your boyfriend and his friend like to write erotic fiction back and forth to each other. This would be weird. My instant thought is that he got the dates wrong. And he did actually sleep with his coworker. I don't want to be right, but that is my gut feeling. I know you truly don't feel like he cheated, but I have felt that way before as well, and turned out that I was being cheated on. What you ultimately need to do is talk to him. Confront him by printing out the email. His reaction will tell you everything. Good luck. My instinct is that his insecurities made him say those things he thought his new bro wanted to hear. If that's the case, you really need to talk about how his insecurities will drive you two apart unless he can get a handle on it. My 22F boyfriend, 37, cheated on me, and said he expected me to forgive him because I stayed with my ex that cheated on me. Basically, I had this ex. I'll call him James. And me and James were together when I was 17, until I was 20. He cheated on me, and I proceeded to stay with him even after I found out, mostly because he guilted me and made me believe it was an accident and he was sorry. We only broke up because I moved, and long distance didn't work. I found out yesterday that my current boyfriend, Mark, has been cheating on me for 4 months. He already bought a ring, and was planning on us getting engaged in the next few months. Lately, he's been extra distant though, and I could tell something was off. We were starting to get intimate, but something was strange about it. I don't even know. Some weird feeling. And I felt like he wasn't even that into it. So finally, I just asked. And he said he was, but that he had stuff on his mind and needed to tell me something but didn't know when or how. I told him it was okay, and he could tell me anything. He then told me that he's been with another girl for 4 months. I thought he was kidding. But he told me it was going to be a one-time thing, but he ended up really liking her. I got so upset. I couldn't even get mad. I just got up and I cried. I told him to leave, get out of the house, etc. And he said you forgave James and you stayed with him. I decided to have romance once with a girl, and I can't help that I fell in love. He started yelling at me saying I never actually loved him because I won't forgive him, I won't stay with him, etc. All day, I've been in bed crying and I'm not sure what to do. When James chested on me, my family said I have horrible taste in men, and now they expect me to get married. And I can't. I've been cheated on again, and everyone will think it's because I'm a horrible person. I can't be a girlfriend. He has been texting me non-stop. Occasionally telling me to remember our good times. Other times begging me for another chance. Other times calling me names. I don't know what to do now. Part of me feels like I should get back with him, because guys aren't interested in me and I absolutely don't do well on my own. How do I fix this? Too long, didn't read, BF cheated on me because my ex cheated and I stayed with him. He thought he could do the same and I wouldn't be upset. Now I'm not sure what to do. I hate being alone and keep telling myself to forgive him. But I don't know. What's wrong with me? Don't ever stay with a man because you hate being alone. Because you know what's worse than being alone, being with a person who makes you feel alone despite being in a relationship. Plus, while you're with him, you might miss out on a kind, amazing man who sees you and thinks, wow, I'd love to ask her out. Oh, never mind, she has a boyfriend. Because kind, amazing guys aren't going to pursue women who are in relationships, that's what the skeezy guys do. My 34F husband, 36M, and I recently got back together after a 6-month separation. Today I found flirty texts on his phone with his coworker. I'm devastated. For the sake of the post and anonymity, I'll call my husband Phil. I apologize for length. Phil and I have been married almost a decade. About 8 months ago, we separated. He moved out. We have a child together, but we've always co-parented very well. There were a number of reasons for our separation, some fault on both sides, but ultimately, our communication broke down. We tried therapy, and I wanted to continue counseling, but he was insistent on a separation and eventual divorce. Fast forward to 2 months ago and we started talking more. He agreed to therapy. He moved back in last month and it's going pretty well. When we were separated, Phil became good friends with a girl at his work, I'll call her Sophie. Before our separation, I had flare-ups of jealousy and I'm working on that. I know Sophie and Phil went on a few dates while we were apart, but I also know they agreed to be friends. Today we were at the park with our son, and I had forgotten my phone. I used his to text a friend we have plans with later today. No biggie. I saw a text from Sophie come in saying I feel the same way, and I got curious. Sophie was texting my husband that she had a dream a few nights ago that they had romance for the first time. He was telling her he was getting hot, he had a bulging in his pants, etc. She was telling him how vivid the dream was, and he was clearly loving it. To Sophie's credit, she did mention me. He said we were trying but it was tough. He said maybe if we didn't have a child we wouldn't still be trying, ouch. After seeing these messages, I gave him his phone and said give Sophie my best. Phil has been apologizing ever since. I'm still furious. Am I overreacting? I know they haven't had romance. But it was so flirty and I feel sick just looking at him. Too long, didn't read, I was separated from my husband, due to communication issues and jealousy, for 6 months. We got back together 2 months ago and are working on things. Today I found texts on his phone of him flirting with his coworker. That's not just flirting, that's romantic texting. Have to wonder if there's an emotional affair going on too. I am quite concerned that there may be lingering feelings. Yeah, if he really wanted to fix things, he would cut her off from everything except work-related stuff at work. Emo, even encouraging that behavior from her with both of them knowing that you were working on your marriage is tantamount to an emotional affair. At this point, were he mine, I'd give him that as an ultimatum. Cut her out of your life, or go. Behavior like that is just asking for an affair. Emo. I don't even know if I want to fix our marriage now. We are doing well but coming off a separation things are still shaky. I can't get over the feeling that he's working things out for the kid. For me the issue isn't even Sophie, it's that he's only making the effort in your marriage because you have a child. This is not a good reason to stay in a relationship and ultimately it's not a reason that will sustain him. I agree completely. The flirting is, well, it sucks. But thinking he's only with me for the sake of our child? That cuts deep. OP, your husband is still in the I'm single and I can do whatever and whoever I want mentality. Talk to a divorce lawyer.